wrapped up in my sleeping bag, looking out the window at Aaron's house as the sun is beginning to creep over the horizon. And the trees are silhouetted black against the emerging blue sky with the fading stars up in the sky. And I think to myself how much I hate Aaron because he's got it fucking made with this fantastic house of his, this nice little piece of property tucked away out in the backwoods of South Dakota. God, I fucking hate him. I hope he dies. I hope he dies of syphilis. You piece of shit.
I want to say it's come on in, guys. The water's fine. That's what it is. For all you normies out there, for you people, and by which I mean a norm, I'm a normie when it comes to computers. I am not a computer genius. I don't mean that in the typically derogatory sense where I'm like normie conforming. I mean people who are not IT geniuses, but you're smart enough to look. Are you smart enough to look up Nebraska? Can you find any kind of Nebraska you want? Kappa, what Cappy? I can look up Nebraska. We talk about they grow corn in Nebraska. You could find any corn star you want, right? You could look that up, right? If you can do that, you can figure out Linux. And I'm not kidding it only because I had to install a new phone. I had to get a new phone. Um, not all phones are universal, right? Slightly different user interface. Oh, they put that like icon there. It's no more difficult than switching from, say, whatever, a Pixel to a Samsung. It might take you cumulatively like over months, 8 hours of your time. Oh, I got to delete this. I got to remove that. I got to tailor it that way. Everybody can use Linux. Everybody. The hardest part is installing it. And so now we're at 2 weeks where I've been a Linux family. And by Linux, I mean my girlfriend, not my wife, who's like, that way we still have sex. That's the family. Just dinks having sex. Oh, no. Oh, no. See, what a horrible life. We can afford food and sleep in and have coffee. Remotely employed dinks. Oh, what a hateable, despicable group. Yeah, it has been way easier dealing with this 2 weeks on. 2 weeks on, everything is it's pretty good. Pretty darn good. And so it is not anything you guys can't handle, but I do want to say the few bad things I did run into to show you how good and easy Linux is. So it's better than Windows and every other way. And I mean Windows 10, right? Because not even towards the end, Windows 10 was constantly nagging you about Copilot, OneDrive, setting up a Microsoft account. And then more recently, oh, you got to update to Windows 11, update to Windows 11. That nagging is all gone. It is all gone. But there are some things you got to do to tailor it. All right. So one, it does not like if you are a podcaster or internet, you got to do Zoom meetings or whatever. Linux, which by the way, my variation is Mint. And maybe there's a variation of Linux out there that works well with audiovisual peripherals, but mine doesn't like audiovisual peripherals. It works. There was some stuttering. You guys saw that. There was intermittent. You could find some fix-its on the internet, which are actually really good. For once AI actually helps you out here, it's pretty spot on with the AI advice. But if you're using an audio visual, you're going to have to kind of troubleshoot. And before you go buy a microphone, make sure whether or not it's compatible with Linux, because I don't believe these Shure microphones are. I was about to blank out. I got a Windows 11 machine down in the Southern Command, and I didn't know it was Windows 11, but the Shure microphone works with that. I don't know if that Shure microphone, it says it won't work with Linux. So before I blank that computer out, I'm going to test it on a laptop I got to see if there's a way to work around. So you're going to have to do a little bit of adjusting and tailoring, finding programs. I'm not sure if it's a program or a software. Well, it's all some kind of form of software, but you'll find some kind of advice on the internet. Oh, you have this microphone, download this package or this patch, and it should work. And we're going to get to that downloading a little bit later. Which is number 2 that I got right here. Sometimes you have to use the terminal, especially if you want to get software. One of the huge benefits of Linux is that they have what's called a software manager. Now, that might just come with my variation of Linux, which is Linux Mint. But I think every variation of Linux out there has it. I'm pretty sure it's called Software Manager universally. But basically what it is, it's the App Store. You don't have to go on the internet looking for drivers. You don't have to go to the company's website. Oh, can I download Goldwave, for example? You don't have to do it. Installed with the operating system is basically Linux's App Store. In my variation, it's called the Software Manager. And you fire that up and you just type in what you're looking for, graphic editing, and it'll come up with all the different graphic editing that will work, that is in the Linux store. And so you don't even have to, well, you will download it, but you don't have to right click, download, open up the package. You hit download in the software manager. It says install. Yeah, install. And it says, do you want it to open? Yeah, open. There it is. Now you might have to make an icon down below or on the, put it on the startup menu. But that is way superior to Windows now, where you I gotta find this. I gotta go to this website, get the driver to work from my microphone. Nope, you just go there. Oh, here's my graphic editor. Here's Audacity. One of the drawbacks is not all the programs you're used to using on Windows are available in Linux, but there usually is a very good alternative. And that leads to you having to have a little bit of a learning. You gotta, like, I use Color Paint instead of Microsoft Paint. And it's worked fine, but I had 45 minutes of time. You guys spend way more time looking up Nebraska, so you guys can do this too. But when it comes to downloading software, one of the drawbacks is it may not be available in the software manager or the App Store, and so you have to get the terminal. And you'll go, where can I find this program? And it'll give you code. Now that means I have to use the terminal. However, this is easier than you think. There's a little terminal icon at the bottom. It's basically a black box with a little bit of code on it. You hit it, pops the terminal, meaning the code, like old school programming. You copy and paste the text that's in the website or the AI or whatever. Right? Oh yeah, enter this code. Copy, paste the code in, enter it. Boom. 98 out of 100 times, it's going to install. 2 out of 100, like, oh, it's not working on my version of Linux, or it's just not popping up. There's no graphic user interface. It's command only. That's kind of rare. But then you just try another software and it should work. The boot sequence when you're trying to install your Linux operating system is not universal among all computers. Now, this is not Linux's fault. This is the fact that manufacturers of different computers have different kind of boot menus. That's a difficulty, but that is about installing Linux, and installing Linux is the hardest part about Linux. But I just wanted to let you know, because as I started trying it on different computers, I have my boot drive right here. But I'm like, wait, sometimes you have to turn off secure boot. And so what you want to do is look up the instructions on the internet for this specific type of computer. How do I boot from a USB drive? And it will kind of tell you there, depending on whether or not that individual model of computer has the instructions on the internet. Otherwise, you just got to kind of find USB boot. And that is probably the hardest part of the entire process. Checksumming is on par with that. You got to checksum your Linux, look up a video on it. That's not what this video is about. Those are the 2 hardest parts. Once you get past that, which you can, because you all spend days looking for boobies on the, I can say boobies, but I can't say something that rhymes with corn. So we got to call it Nebraska. You should be able to figure that out. You will have to learn Linux versions of Microsoft software. Sometimes you can find the software you were using, like 70% of the programs you use on Windows, there you could find that for Linux, and it works the exact same. Sometimes it won't work on Linux, like Microsoft Paint. And so you have to find a Linux version of that. Here it may, like color paint is 98% similar to Microsoft Paint. And yeah, I got to learn, okay, I got to go up here. Your muscle memory or your mind memory, I automatically go here. You don't even know why you're going there. It's just, your brain is associated. Yeah, that's how we get whatever, a copy or rectangular selection. So you're going to have to learn software a little bit, program a little bit. But it'll be like Office Libre is the same as Windows Office, pretty much. Slight variations, but you should be able to figure it out. And then a lot of people say, well, there's Wine or Play on Linux. And what Wine and Play on Linux is they are programs offered on Linux that will allow you to install and run Windows programs on Linux. So you don't have to dual boot. Like, you install 2 different operating systems and you dual boot. The average person doesn't know how to do that. They don't have time. So what you do is you get this program, Wine or Play on Linux, and they're kind of almost app stores in themselves. Say, what Windows program are you looking for? You say, I'm looking for Microsoft Paint. It says, here it is. And so I found Microsoft Paint on Wine, but it's an ancient version. This thing like goes back to probably Windows 98. It's ancient. It's not as robust as the Microsoft Paint I'm used to. Play on Linux, they've had limited offerings, as did Wine. So hopefully you find something. If you find exactly what you're looking for with Wine or Play on Linux, cool. And just so you know, if you install Wine or Play on Linux, and then let's say you want to use Microsoft Paint because you downloaded it on Play on Linux, you don't open up Microsoft Paint. You have to open up Play on Linux, and then your inventory of Windows programs you download, you open it up from there. So you open up 2 programs. But that will prevent you from having to learn a new program on Linux. And then my biggest complaint, this is my biggest complaint. This complaint is on par with the wife. I was married to this fat, STD riddled, single mom, welfare collecting, Democrat voting American wife. But then I divorced her and I found this sweet little Asian wife overseas. Oh my God, passport pro. Yes. And it's like, well, she hiccups too much. That's the level of complaints I have with my new operating system wife. The icons when uploading, not when going through the folders or Explorer or whatever. Not like, you open up a window. When I upload, particularly thumbnails, right? I design a thumbnail, like the one for this, and I want to upload it to YouTube so I have a thumbnail. The icons are this big, and there's no way in the upload window to make them any bigger, which is hard because I'm just used to like, oh, there's the thumbnail. I visually see the thumbnail I just created. The icons are so small, you have to look at the title. It goes across like that. It tells you all the data and information. And so I've had the inconvenience of naming the thumbnails very clearly. So I remember, I named that one Linux. So I know to look for Linux alphabetized, not look for the icons, which I can't see. I'm sure there's a fix. I looked for it. I spent about 45 minutes trying to find one. Couldn't find a fix. Dinked around with everything. I'm not kidding. That's the worst part. That's the most annoying part. I'm like, oh God, I gotta look. But when you compare it to constantly being nagged and hounded, and that's what Microsoft Windows is. It's a fat, obnoxious, insufferable harpy constantly nagging you to do what it wants you to do, not what you want to do. It doesn't compare. That is a very minor. All these problems are very, very, very minor to the constant harassment about upgrading to the cloud or OneDrive or Copilot, the ridiculous updates, the ridiculous where I had Microsoft Authenticator, where it's so over-engineered and overcomplicated. I can't access my email anymore because it's kicked me out because I switched my phones. And it's Microsoft. It's German cars. They're over-engineered to the point they can't be fixed. They can't be used. And of course, right, Microsoft, I think Office is now a subscription service. No, it's an abuse. I mean this 100%. The words coming 100%. Windows is an abusive relationship. It is not a healthy relationship for you to be in. You are being abused by Microsoft. Windows wants all your data. It spies on you. It collects your data whether you want it or not. There's a lot of security issues. We're like, oh, you got to upgrade to the cloud, all the cloud. Like, oh, so all my information is out there, all my files, all my data. Everything is not in my computer. It's somewhere else. And of course, Microsoft, you never get hacked, right? No, you big tech companies never get hacked. And it's not your data, asshole. According to EULA, it is. Yeah, that's the bullshit. That's the bullshit. You don't have to deal with an abusive relationship. There is a much kinder, nicer alternative in the form of Linux. I don't know about Mac, though. I don't know about Apple. Does Apple have all this? Is Apple psychotic and wants to spy on you all the time and have your data? Probably. I don't know. But I know Linux doesn't. And yes, there are some minor things. The biggest ones are the icons aren't big enough. Okay, I can forgive my mail order bride for hiccuping a little bit too much. But it doesn't nag. It doesn't say, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? I was listening to another geek podcast and they're talking about how Windows defenders, not the software, but people trying to defend Windows. Look, all you got to do is turn it off. The guy had a great, you could turn off and opt out of all these things when you're installing the software. And the guy says, I shouldn't have to. And he's right. Your default settings should not be fuck him in the ass, right? That should not be the default setting of any product going out. But it is, not just for Microsoft, for an increasing number of companies out there. Your default setting is fuck the client in the ass. And the client shouldn't even have to turn that off. The enshittification tax we all pay, where now we have to spend 15 minutes turning off spyware or denying you permissions. And we shouldn't have to do that. We should come home after a long day of working and paying taxes so Democrats can live off us like the parasites that they are, and be able to have dinner time with our family, or sitting down and watching some interesting television, or maybe having sex with our wife on the kitchen countertop, or playing video games that aren't woke subscription service bullshit. We should be able to live our lives. We should not have to turn off all the, do you want to be updated? Do you want to belong to Microsoft family? Do you want and then surprise, once you update, all those settings go back to harassment. It's like you don't realize when you're healthy. You only realize when you're sick, right? And then when you get healthy, you don't even notice, like, oh, thank God, I feel a lot better now. Maybe you do on the end of being sick. But once you go back to being healthy, you just take it for granted. You don't realize it. It's the same thing kind of in a relationship. You don't realize you're in an abusive relationship until you end. All of a sudden you get this way better, superior product that isn't trying to actively harm you and fuck you over. You're like, oh, wow. And I've even started getting accustomed to Linux where I should be thankful. Oh, wow. It isn't asking me to upgrade, because by now I've been 2 weeks. So how many times, Mike? Every 3 days you got to harass me about bullshit. 2 weeks, let's call it 15 days. So I would have had 5 days where I'd have your bullshit and pop-ups. I will say, and this is not Linux's fault, one other thing, let's call it item number 7. If you use Chrome or YouTube, or I'm sorry, Google as your search, Google is going to constantly ask you, do you want to remember the password? Do you want to remember the password? And I don't know if that's Firefox or if it's using Google search. And I got to get out of the habit of using, I got to use Yandex, and I really should use the Brave browser. I'm just busy with stuff. But overall, I mean, very minor thing. Overall, yeah, it's way less annoying. It's way less pernicious. It's more respectful to the client. They don't even have it's free. That's why I donated money to the Linux Mint project. I'm like, thank you. This was worth it. This saved me. I think I donated $150 or something. Like, this saved so much time and agony. Not to mention not having to upgrade to new computers, which a lot of you younger, poorer people, obviously, you want to save money, just get a Linux. Go grab your old laptop, get your Linux, operating system. Look it up. You save yourself at least, dude. I went to the I had to get new phones because I'm gonna start stocking up on phones. And they didn't have phones, interestingly, but they did have a lot of laptops. A used laptop you're looking at $300 to $400 for one that's somewhat decent. But if you put Linux on it, you don't need these supercomputers. You get away with a $200 laptop, and they're even the thin ones nowadays. Yeah, so leave the abusive relationship. Come on in, guys. The water's fine. Any normal person can do Linux, and she's going to treat you. I'm going to refer to my operating system as a she. I know that pisses you feminists off. Like refer to cars or ships. She's a good ship. She's a good truck. Yeah, it's like, oh, you must be a Windows 11 woman. Oh, why don't you go make your husband more miserable? There you go. Let's go to the super chat. Cyberbully, $5. Mac OS used to be the place you would go if you wanted something that just worked flawlessly. Mac OS is slowly being shitified in the last 2 years. Yeah, I wouldn't say. See, because Apple's a publicly traded firm, and you always got to squeeze out more profit. You can't accept that corporate management has reached its zenith. I think that's the word I was looking for. There we go. All they know is now to make the product worse. I roll, therefore I am. 20 generous Canadian dollars. Hey, Cappy, crusty old graybeard Gen X who's not great with computers. Just last week, I figured out how to rub sticks and make fire. Well, you are Canadian. I'm impressed. You guys are a little bit behind your American cousins. Thank you for helping us Luddites and making it easy. So I presume that I don't need another super chat, but you did get it installed, right? And look, if Linux so easy, a Canadian can do it. There we go. That's hang on. I'm doing that one. Linux so easy, a Canadian could do it. Oh, that's gonna make a great meme. Get rhinestone on it. Can do it. All right. There we go. Oh, I'm glad you guys are able to do it. Friendly Fire, $2. I hope you installed Time Shift and Deja Dup. Why do I that's another thing. I don't need to install. I spent more time dicking around with this phone than I did my Linux thing. I don't need, everything seems to be working fine. And this is my main Linux computer. This is the one that needed the most work because I have the externals, the peripherals here. The ones where I'm just like using it to get computer access to the internet, to watch Amazon. And then also I use it as a digital screen. I downloaded VLC. They needed even less because I don't broadcast from them. They're very, very simple. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, special guest celebrity. You should all be humbled and honored that this man even gives us his wisdom and time. Professor Fuckwitz, PhD, $2. What about the money multiplier effect of AI PCs? You're right. We're gonna make all the minorities and women even more poor not buying Microsoft. You owe it to buy Microsoft products and new PCs. How dare we hurt the women and minorities switching to Linux? How dare we? You will eat the bugs and you will own nothing and you will like it. It's a fascinating, there's a political observation or ramification or consequence to this. Like it really is testing people. Like, how sheepish are you going to be? We know that Windows 11 is constantly taking screenshots. We know it's spying on you. We know it's collecting your data. Are you guys going to be like, oh, okay? Or are you guys realizing this is bad and you should spend the hour and a half to figure out how to install Linux? So down the road, when whatever you run for senator, they don't come up and here's your corn selection and maybe you got some eccentric tastes, you know? What if they like, oh, look, this guy was whatever, cheating on his wife. You know, oh, this guy likes midget corn. Oh, could be the world's greatest president we ever have. Oh, we can't have him because of taboo. It really is interesting to see just, I looked up what percent of the market is using Windows 11, 10, 8, Mac, Apple, all that. And Linux is kind of sticking in the 5% range. It should be 20. Like, in theory, it should be at least half, because I know there are Apple Macintosh computers out there. But it should be 30, 40, ideally 50%, because no desktops need Windows. You don't, unless it's gaming or something very specific or work related. But for your little PC that you're going to go watch the internet with, guys, switch to Linux. Do yourself a favor. And it's safer too. I roll, therefore I am 5 Canadian. Authenticator is a battle multiple times a day on my work laptop. Oh, yeah. Do not. Another reason not to use Microsoft products at all. Not only Authenticator, but don't use Microsoft email exchange services. Don't host your email service with Microsoft. It's pointless. I'm waiting for my IT guy to get back to me, and he hasn't gotten back to me. I'm like, thank God I have other emails. I'm competent enough to reprogram my website that, oh yeah, go to this email instead. It is an abusive relationship. Ass Bucket, $5. I hate the Microsoft recommended or suggested notifications now. I hate that you cannot resize the start menu now. I hate the constant updates, hate all of it. Switch. Come on, Ass Bucket. I know you're from Minnesota, but you're smart enough. You're smarter than the average Minnesotan, right? You can, I think. Most people are. I know you're Minnesotan, and by law, you have to hate yourself, but you can break free of this abusive relationship. Ass Bucket, $2 was just suggested a game with Game Pass, bro. Hey, oh, yeah. Dude, when it was like, hey, Mike, because somewhere I had an Xbox, and then Microsoft knew I had an Xbox, so they were emailing me Xbox advertisements. Nope. No ads. There's another one. No ads. It really is not having a nagging wife. It really is. Ass Bucket, $2. Bro, you take out a 36-month loan on that iPhone, bro? Nope. I had this 2-3 years ago. It just went in the extra, in with the battery. You know how you guys got the battery drawer, the miscellaneous drawer, batteries, paper clips, that kind of was in there, along with the other one. But nah, this is it. I ain't got no backups. I did go to the pawn shops, and I couldn't find, they're not carrying any, so I gotta find some other place to find it. Hambone, the most handsome 68-year-old man ever. Look at that hair. He claims to be 68. $5. Been using Ubuntu since 2017. Welcome to the party, pal. Have a great weekend, sir. Thank you. $2 again. Linux, so easy. Even Modern Life. Whoa, Modern Life, John. Wait a minute. Hang on. What time is it? 28. Now wait. Okay, Canadians is one thing. Modern Life, John. I don't know. I don't think he could. Kids with Down syndrome have a better shot than Modern Life John has. Does the guy even know how to turn on a computer, or does he have to have his assistant come in? Good old John. The special needs of the Red Pill community. Elon Musk filthy jockstrap, $2. Just wanted to say you have the best trolls. I do indeed. Wait, are they in the regular comments section? Friendly Fire, $2 there. System restore backup. You need them. Yeah. And that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to get everything on the cloud. So you basically just got a terminal and you're fucked. All your data there is, you're fucked. They want you to be dependent on them. I don't care if you normies do it. I don't care if corporations do it. I'm fine. I'm done. I'm free. Space Cowboy, $5. Windows is like Walmart. You hate to go there, but it's convenient. As a PC gamer, I hate Windows. Most updates ruin something. Yeah, that's the one thing. That, or if you're a remotely employed, and obviously your company is going to require Windows, but your personal PC, that doesn't have to be Windows. It really doesn't. Gaming or work, those are the only two reasons you need a Windows machine. Otherwise, nope, out of that shit. Generation Apollo, $5. Microsoft, please update to Windows 11. Me, ugh, fine. MS, sorry, your PC doesn't meet the requirements. Laugh out loud. Also, Microsoft, 10 minutes later, please update to Windows 11. I know, man. Where do you want to go? I don't care. You decide. How about Chinese? I don't like Chinese. How about Mexican? I don't like Mexican. They did. Oh my God. I know where Windows 11 got its operatings. I know the code. They downloaded an American 48-year-old woman's brain and they said, turn this into an operating system. And now it just goes in circular references all the time. And nothing fucking gets done. It's all nagging. All nagging. Right? Let's say you update to Windows 11. I got a question for those of you updated to Windows 11. It's still bothering you about something, right? It's like, oh, you finally bought me the car and the SUV and took me out and bought me jewelry and da, right? You finally did everything to make happy wife, happy life. Is Windows 11 still bothering you about something? I guarantee you it's still nagging you post and install, right? It's still bothering you with shit, isn't it? All right, there you go. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. Link below is the link to my Amazon affiliate link. If you would kindly do all your Amazon shopping there, you can go to assholeconsulting.com/Amazon. assholeconsulting.com/Amazon. Click on the link or the banner on that page. Do all your Amazon shopping. I get a 5% commission or cut on your purchases. You don't pay anything extra. Oh, we got one more. Elon Musk's filthy jockstrap, $2. SAR, do not redeem. Do not redeem mouth hugs. I know I don't get the Indian customer service memes. SAR is sir. Yes. Do not redeem. Do not redeem. Redeem what? The code? And what's mouth hugs? I don't get mouth hugs. All right, that's it. See you guys later, Toodles.